it's just like this extremity of condescending upon condescending upon condescending. I feel so traumatized with this experience. I didn't even know it was possible to lack that much social awareness. Hey guys, it's Lizzie. So I am so angry right now and I really need to just like rant about this experience. And I never feel this type of like emotional anger towards people like so incredibly rarely. Usually I'll only get angry like twice a year, like at someone. And so example of my temperament, like this morning I wake up and my cousin comes in and she's like, I'm so sorry, like I broke this. It was like this astronomical flashlight. It's like what you can use when you're like looking at the stars and stuff. Like it's a really good quality one that will last like lifetime. So that is what I wake up to and I don't feel any emotion. Like I don't care, like I don't feel anger, because when someone isn't intentionally doing something wrong, like I don't care. I'm a very like emotionally reactive, intense person, but not in anger. I've been giving blood since I was 16, now I'm 22. So I've been to like dozens and dozens of different places. I've gotten my blood taken from so many different people. I'm not even scared of needles like at all. Like they don't hurt me, even, you know, like the huge needles. Like I don't care if I like see it inside me, if I like see the blood coming out. Like the pain doesn't bother me at all. Like nothing about the experience makes me feel uncomfortable because I've just done it so many times. So when you give blood, you're like sitting down or laying down on this kind of like couch type thing, like what you would see in a doctor's office. And you have a place for your arm to go where you rest it, and then they clean the space with an alcohol type thing, and then they insert the needle. Usually it's a very low pain level, but occasionally I'll find someone who's not very good with needles and it will hurt a bit going in and out. This lady though was just like 100 times worse, from like the worst person I'd ever interacted with. So I'm sitting here, she puts the needle in. It did hurt a little bit going in, but like it's fine, it was just a second. But then she proceeds to wiggle the needle while it is in my arm, but like it keeps going, probably like 15-20 seconds, where she's like, she has the needle, like she's holding the needle, and like, so this is like my makeup brush, but imagine that thing is your vein and this is the needle. She was essentially like doing that when it was inside my freaking blood vein. So then they give you like a squishy thing. I am like really intense on like squeezing on the little like ball thing, like they give you something to hold on to and squeeze so the blood can come out faster. I've been told before that like I need to calm down and not squeeze as much because I'm like too much strength, like I need to chill out. But this lady is like, are you squeezing it at all? Like, can you keep squeezing it? Can you please remember to squeeze? And literally this is my hand. She is staring at my arm like she sees that my hand is doing this. So then like maybe 30 seconds pass and she's back at it again. And she's like moving the needle along my vein. I feel so traumatized with this experience. So anyways, the blood is coming out, I'm squeezing the thing, she's kind of like not constantly looking at me, it's fine. But then a few minutes later, she comes back and she does the same thing where she's freaking like moving it all around my vein. And then it's like when she's not jiggling the needle, she's like staring at it and like tapping my arm. So I think finally, like very gently, I'm like, hey, like could you stop like moving the needle? The blood was coming out. I literally see the bag filling up with blood. Blood is going through the tubes, like everything is going great. So then another woman comes over, and I would say she's an intern because she didn't really seem to know what she was doing, but it seemed like she'd worked there for a while. She looked like in her 40s or 50s. So the first woman is like over here with someone else, and then like the second woman is next to me, and she's literally sitting on top of me. She's like leaning against the bed and her butt is making contact with my legs. Physical touch is my love language. I don't have a problem with it when I'm dealing with my friends and family. I am not down to get like really touchy and like rub up against strangers. It made me so incredibly uncomfortable, and I tried to like move my legs and stuff, but she was just like leaning against me. I didn't even know it was possible to lack that much social awareness. So the second lady is asking the first lady what to do, and the first lady is almost kind of getting mad at her. Like, okay, like you need to do this right now, or like, oh, go get that, like what are you doing? And so it's stressing me out because I don't want this person who doesn't know what they're doing taking over. The first person was so awful at their job. What is this lady gonna do? Anyway, so I kept my mouth shut the entire time. I didn't say anything. I had blank facial expressions. This might be something else contributing to it. I am an introvert. In a lot of situations, I don't want to talk to people. When I'm like at the dentist, at the hairdresser, like I like talking to people I know and having deep conversations. Like I don't want to meet a stranger and start up a superficial conversation. At a dentist or a blood center, you know, it's sort of uncomfortable. I want to just be able to like read. I had a philosophy essay on my phone and I was trying to read it. If I wasn't really talking to them, I know I was coming across as really aloof. I had my hat on. I probably just looked like I didn't want anything to do with anyone, which is true because like I'm giving you my blood. Like we're not friends. So then it keeps getting worse. So the first lady asked me, so did you drink any water this morning? I happened to drink 4 glasses of tea this morning just because I got a new tea. It tasted really good and my throat had been acting up a bit. I'd also had a ton of almond milk and another glass of water before the tea. So this is like 1 p.m. and I'm already at like my 8 glasses of water like minimum limit. But she is questioning me and she asked it again, like, you know, like you really need to stay hydrated when you come in here. The first time I'd just been like, yeah, I'm hydrated. But then the second time I'm like, yeah, I had 4 cups of tea this morning. And then a third, fourth time she keeps asking me if I was hydrated, explaining why you need to be hydrated when you're giving blood. If someone is going in to give blood and they didn't eat that morning, didn't drink any water, no one is that ignorant. I don't really get offended by people, but in this situation, after wiggling a needle through my arm, sitting on top of me, like I am so losing my patience. So then the second lady who was sitting on me comes over and I see out of the corner of my eye something, and then suddenly there's like a water bottle put under my face. It wasn't water though, it was like Powerade or something. It was so weird. So she's here and it's like, it's already open. She's like forcing me to drink it. And the other woman is looking at me too, like I have to drink the Powerade. And so I'm just like trying to figure out what this even is. They want me to drink and I'm turning it around and there's like 20 grams of sugar in like this tiny thing. I am extremely health conscious. I never drink like sugary type beverages. And I'm just like, I really don't want to drink this. So then they start telling me that I'm really dizzy, really faint, and about to pass out. And it kind of all makes sense. Like that's why they were trying to force liquids on me, questioning whether or not I was hydrated. Like they literally think I'm gonna pass out. I would interpret this as being really caring and just doing their job well if I had actually been about to pass out. I have low blood pressure, it's genetic, I have my entire life, and so there are so many circumstances in which I get dizzy and am about to pass out. I am so self-aware when I'm getting dizzy just because like I do not want to fall over. I have like lost consciousness before, and so I am like so attuned to my body and I know when I need to like sit down. And something else is that this year I've been going on so many different medications for bipolar disorder, and basically every single one when you're tapering on also makes you feel really dizzy. There have been probably like 15, 20 different times this year where I've been close to passing out. And so it's just like, you know, 22 years of my life, this past year, constantly dizzy. Like I know when I am dizzy. Maybe some people are like very not self-aware of their own body. Still, I think this is just really condescending to keep telling someone like, oh, you're so dizzy, you're so dizzy, you're so dizzy, when they are telling you that they feel completely fine. So as they're continuing to tell me that I'm about to pass out, they also say like, your face looks really pale, like you look really sick. Right now, I will show you guys. I don't know if you can tell because of the lighting, but I'm wearing so much makeup because I was already planning to film other videos today. This lighting actually makes me look really pale, but I'm actually really tan right now. So I have foundation. I have Bare Minerals. It's like a foundation powder. So 2 foundations. I also have concealer and I have blush, luminizer, like contour. I have everything on my face. I have so many products on my face. Even if I was so freaking pale, my face went white, you wouldn't be able to tell because I have like so much face makeup on. So then I'm leaving the place and they are continually bombarding me. They're like, oh, are you okay? Like, is it okay for you to stand up? My mom was also there. We were both giving blood. And so they're like, yeah, like, make sure to not drive home by yourself. I didn't drive here by myself. I drove with my mom. Like, she drove. So it's not like I was going to steal a car and like drive by myself to my house. It's just like this extremity of condescending upon condescending upon condescending. And I literally think that all of this was started just because I wasn't like super bubbly friendly, like, oh my gosh, hi. Sometimes I don't have the social energy to become everyone's best friend. So then they were giving out like these gigantic fleece blankets, and I'm like really against like receiving like gifts, movie tickets. Like it just makes me so uncomfortable when they're giving me something. I just want to make sure like our hospitals can run and people have enough blood for surgeries. I don't think I'm going above and beyond being an exemplary person to do this. There was like an Amazon gift card they were giving out, so I'm like, whatever, cool, I'll use this for someone's Christmas present. But then they're giving me like this gigantic blanket on top of that. I live in Florida, it's 85 degrees all the time. I don't need a fleece blanket. So I leave the blanket just like conspicuously like on the floor. So then they're like, oh, you forgot your blanket. And so I'm just like, it's okay, I don't need a blanket, I don't want to. It annoys me when nonprofits are doing this type of thing because I feel like they're spending the money or the service I'm giving them on the gifts, which kind of defeats the purpose. I know this video will probably cause some of you to never ever want to give blood. This is not common. They're awful at their job if that's something they think they need to do. I've been giving blood for like 6-7 years, so like this is never ever something that happens. Like I have never had anyone like jiggling a needle around when it is inside my arm. Worst possible circumstance, like besides this lady, is if the blood isn't coming out, you take the needle out and you put it in again, or you put it into a different arm. You do not just like keep vigorously wiggling it for 10 minutes. Something else I realized is that I had told them I have bipolar disorder just because I have to make sure like the medicine I'm on for bipolar won't like mess up the blood. There's a ton of medications you can't give blood if you are on, and so I had to tell them that. So I wonder if that changed their perspective on how they were thinking about me, treating me. I don't usually ever attribute someone knowing about my mental illness to their behavior, but this is something where I'm just completely appalled and shocked for how they treated me, and I am just scrambling figuring out why a professional would act like that. But I think the main thing is just like I want to be more like secluded, more introvert, and so I think that really offends people sometimes. Every other time I've given blood, it's been generally a really positive experience. There have been a couple times when I've been like barely enough iron and so like about to pass out. That has happened to me once where I was really dizzy afterwards. But usually, you know, you drink water, your iron is good, you give blood, it doesn't really hurt, it's chill. I hope that this experience has never happened to any of you because it was awful. Like I'm definitely gonna give blood again. I know like I might use my left arm from now to give blood. My right arm is just scarred from this whole experience. I'll use my left vein from now on. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in a few days in my next video. Bye!